Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep into the TP-Link Deco BE11000 mesh system. This system promises, well, 11 gigabits per second thanks to Wi-Fi 7. Our mission today is really to cut through the hype and figure out if this incredibly expensive upgrade is actually worth your investment right now.
Yeah, and we found something pretty surprising right off the bat, something that kind of dictates everything else we're going to talk about. See, despite the shiny new model number, the BE11000 units, they're basically just rebranded versions of their existing VE65 Pro hardware, bundled together. TP-Link essentially put a premium label on hardware that's not really new.
Okay, that sounds cynical maybe,
Mhm.
but hang on. If the underlying BE65 Pro units were already powerful, does rebranding them actually hurt you, the end user? Or is it just like a clever way to leverage proven hardware for a faster Wi-Fi 7 rollout?
Well, it's kind of both, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, the fact is the specs on paper are formidable. Nuclear, even. This is a tri-band Wi-Fi 7 system. And what that means is it uses 3 separate radio bands, including that new, pretty uncongested 6 gigahertz band.
Right, the 6 gigahertz.
Exactly. Think of 6 gigahertz as like this super wide, empty freeway for your data.
Yeah.
It's absolutely essential for delivering those genuine multi-gigabit speeds.
And when you look at the performance reviews, I mean, they are stellar, right? A sustained speed seems genuinely impressive. People are maintaining around 2 gigabits per second, even when they move to the edges of a large house.
Plus, the physical units themselves, they're solid, high-quality stuff.
Yeah.
Every single unit includes 5 gigabit Ethernet ports. Now, this is crucial if you actually have multi-gig internet coming into your house.
Yeah.
Or if you want to set up a really powerful wired backhaul.
That dedicated physical link between the mesh nodes.
Yeah, exactly, to ensure you get peak performance everywhere.
Okay, but here's where the paradox hits, right? Despite these blazing speeds, despite the solid hardware, the community forums, they are absolutely filled with complaints about connection stability.
Frequent drops,
Yeah.
devices just randomly falling offline.
That's like that analogy you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's like owning a Ferrari that just randomly stalls at traffic lights.
Yeah.
You've got all this theoretical maximum performance, but the reliability, it's shaky, at least right now.
But what's interesting is the context the sources give. They seem to think these issues are firmware fixable.
Right. And that's a huge distinction.
So what does firmware fixable actually imply for someone buying this?
Well, it's kind of good news and bad news. A relief and a warning, maybe. It suggests the core problem isn't like bad chips or fundamental design flaws. It's probably just buggy launch software. But the warning is, if you buy this system today, you're essentially beta testing the firmware for TP-Link while they iron out these stability kinks.
Paying a premium to be a beta tester, not ideal. And if the performance is a stalling Ferrari, then the pricing. Well, the pricing structure makes you question the whole thing. It's why.
Totally unhinged, yeah. Like Best Buy sells a 2-pack for around $600, but then Costco has a 3-pack for roughly the same price.
How does that even happen?
It really suggests some major distribution incentives or games are being played. Makes it a real value maze for the consumer.
And this ties right into that future-proofing dilemma, doesn't it? You're paying this huge premium for Wi-Fi 7.
But almost everything you own, your phone, your laptop, your smart plugs, they're all still on Wi-Fi 6, maybe even Wi-Fi 5. So you're investing heavily in tech, your current devices can't even use properly, all while, dealing with those potential first-gen Wi-Fi 7 quirks we talked about.
So what about alternatives, if someone's looking right now?
Well, there's the AeroMax 7. Sources say it offers maybe better top-end speed, possibly better range too, but it is dramatically more expensive. We're talking a whole other price bracket.
Okay. And what if you don't have that super fast multi-gig internet yet?
Then the TP-Link BE63 is probably the smarter play. It's cheaper. And honestly, for standard gigabit broadband speeds, it offers nearly identical real-world performance for everyday stuff. Much better value.
Right. So pulling it all together, what's the verdict for you, the listener?
It's pretty specific, actually. The BE11000. It seems to deliver genuine, noticeable performance improvements, only under 2 conditions. 1, you already subscribe to gigabit plus internet service. And 2, you can somehow snag that bizarrely discounted Costco 3-pack deal.
Okay. And for everyone else, especially those on standard broadband, or maybe those who just don't want the potential headache of beta testing new firmware.
For them, the BE63 looks like a much smarter value purchase right now.
Which leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? A question for you to mull over. Since the raw speed potential is there with the BE11000, but the stability is, well, questionable at launch. And your existing phones and laptops can't actually use Wi-Fi 7 yet anyway. Is it truly wiser to just wait? Wait for the device manufacturers, Apple, Samsung, everyone to catch up before you invest in this premium bleeding edge network gear? What really is the true cost of being first?